So it's kind of cool that I can honestly say I still own the first video game I received as a Christmas gift. That game was on the original Nintendo, and this is the actual cartridge. And I got another one to share with you as well, but Pinball. I received this as a Christmas gift in 1987 as a gift from my parents. I remember it was in my stocking. My dad was notorious about throwing away the boxes, but he'd keep the cartridge and the booklet, and he would put them in these Nintendo licensed plastic clamshell cases, but the boxes got thrown away, which is kind of sad. But I mean, at least he kept the booklet. He was smart enough to realize that you might want to reference back to the instructions. Maybe not on Pinball, but other games. So Pinball was one of the black title games. I'm sure Dad picked out Pinball because of my age and thinking it'd be a simple game for me to pick up and play, which is true. Maybe a little too simple because it doesn't. It plays okay, but it's not a great game by any stretch of the means. I do remember we played it a lot just because it was an easy pick up and play game. And in 1987, discovering Nintendo games, we were looking for simplicity and that sort of thing. But that same year, my older brother, which I still own that as well. I have all of our original Nintendo games, which was somewhere between like 32 and 36 games that we got as kids. I own them all still. But I got Pinball. He got Metroid. We still have the booklet for it. This is, again, our childhood copy of Metroid as well as Pinball. I don't remember playing Metroid at all as a kid. I remember watching my dad try to play Metroid, and then I remember watching my brother beat Metroid, a couple years later, or a year later or something. I remember him putting in a lot of time to Metroid. I was the type of kid that, with my dad being a gamer and having a brother that's a few years older than me, I got to play third string. So I didn't play much. I did a lot of watching. So games like Metroid or Zelda that took some time to get into and develop, I didn't really much play because my time was limited. So I would play a game like Popeye, or I'd play like Pinball because it was just an easy pick up and play type game. And that's probably why my style of game now is something easy to pick up and play. Something I can play for like 10-15 minutes and then play something else, or play it in between doing things. I love arcade games. I love beat 'em ups and that sort of thing. So, but I do recall getting Pinball as my first video game when we were getting into the original Nintendo. We got our Nintendo sometime that same year, 1987. It was the Rob set that came with Duck Hunt, Gyromite, the Rob the robot, a light zapper, and the system, and 2 controllers. I remember us having to go out and actually buy Super Mario Brothers separately because it didn't come packed in with our system, which, looking back now, just so many people that it was just a freebie game. It was something that we had to go out and purchase because it didn't come with our system. When you look back at the library of the Nintendo games that we had as kids, there's a lot of classics in there, and there's a lot of question marks like, what was Dad thinking picking this one out? But I think given the time and what games that we had, which was essentially probably Duck Hunt and Gyromite at that point, he was looking for something for us to, an in-depth game like Metroid, and pinball, something to pick up and play, because I was much younger than my older brother. So it was an easy game for me to pick up and play. But that's just a fond memory of, being a little youngster and getting a Nintendo game. But, at the time, watching back to old home video footage, and that might be why I have kind of picked up the thing too, is because it was our first year living in Phoenix, Arizona, and my dad had bought a camcorder essentially to send video footage back home to Missouri to family to share with us our Christmas and our holidays and how, me and my older brother were growing up. So my grandparents and cousins and aunts and uncles could see us still. Dad bought a camcorder, spent a lot of money on it. So there's still some of that footage out there of, me as a kid getting things like pinball for Christmas. But I was more interested in like G.I. Joes at the time, or, toys. The video games was kind of an afterthought. I hadn't really sunk my teeth into the video gaming scene yet. And I think that was mainly due to having to, watch more than I got to play. It was still fun to watch my dad play, and it was still fun to watch my older brother play. But I wanted the controller too, but it was just like by the time those two were done, there wasn't much time left for me to play. So, but yeah, what do you guys remember what your first video game was you got for Christmas? Mine was Pinball for Nintendo. So I'm sure somebody can definitely one up that. It's a good game, but, and I have a lot of nostalgia for it, but there's a lot of games in 1987 I could have picked out for myself that I think would have been much better. So definitely share your thoughts in the comments section below, and I hope you all are enjoying your holiday season.